Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here on Friday the 5th, June, 2020. You know what? I seen a video on the internet. It's kind of disgusting to watch, where there's an old man, 75 years old, he's very thin and he's very frail. And there's all these burly police officers. I mean, they're all dressed up like the Terminator, And two of them walk up and they push the old fella and he falls backwards and he busts his head open. He's laying there and he needs assistance. It's absolutely a disgusting thing to watch. I mean, it's hard to watch, very hard to watch. But I watched it very carefully because I wanted to analyze it. So I replayed it over and over again a few times just to see exactly what was happening. And one of the things that I noticed that was the worst of all is all of those police officers that were dressed up like the Terminator, all in black and everything else, they all continued to walk right by the guy, and the guy's laying there, and he needs assistance. And not one of them broke rank and went down and offered the man assistance. They all walked right by him. Absolutely disgusting. And it all has to do with the way these men are being trained. Now, two other men were there. They're kind of in behind the crowd. And they were dressed in army fatigues. And they were some form of either... but their training was different. They came over and offered assistance immediately. It's all got to do with the training, And I can see that this is a systemic problem in the United States and possibly in other countries as well. This is a systemic problem in the police forces. Is that they're training them more in a military fashion rather than in a fashion to serve and protect. It's all got to do with the training. As far as I'm concerned, every one of those officers that were dressed in black, that walked right by that man laying on the ground there that needed assistance, all of them need to be retrained, as far as I'm concerned. And they need some of the training of the two officers who came over who were dressed in army fatigues, who obviously had received different training, and offered the man assistance and took care of him. Heck, the man might have died if it hadn't have been for those two in the military garb that came over and offered him assistance. I don't know what the man's condition is today, but I mean, this is a graphically hard thing to watch because it's probably, it's absolutely repulsive, even watching it, Anyway, you guys yesterday, 24 hours, I gave you advance notice that there was a change in the wind, in the whole, everything that was going on. I'm going to tell you, over the past few days, we've come so close to the abyss, quite seriously, that it's not even funny. In the history of the United States, I don't think we've ever come this close to having systemic problems that we wouldn't be able to resolve, that could actually bring down the entire system. The potential was there to bring down the entire system. Now, I noted this change in direction yesterday, 24 hours in advance. Today, we've got a jobs report of 2.5 million new jobs. And there's a little change in the wind, In order to keep this momentum, this good momentum going, we have to resolve some of these problems that we have, these systemic problems within the system that are causing the strife and everything. Officers of the law need to be trained to serve and protect. I can't see it any other way except they're hiring a bunch of bullies. Anyway, let's start the charts right here, and let's take a look at what's going on. Today, silver price, $17.34. What's that little thing there across the silver price? Let me refresh the page and see if I can get rid of that. There, it's gone. No, it's back. $17.34 for silver. It's down 38 cents on the day. Uh, you notice at the same time each day for the last 3 days it's been smashed. You notice that? Exactly the same time of day. 3 days in a row, it's been smashed. Boom, boom, boom. Silver manipulation. It's here to stay, you know. Well, until they can't do it any longer. We're looking at a gold price here. That thing's across my thing again. I can't see the gold price. Looks like 1680. It looks like in around that area. I can't see that thing is coming across my screen. $33.20 down today on gold. Let's take a look at crypto and see what it's doing today. 275.6 billion. Bitcoin dominance is 64.8%. You know, most times I'm ahead of the curve by a few weeks, 3-4 weeks, I'll say something's going to happen, and then 3 or 4 weeks later it happens. This time, everything in the world is moving so fast at such an irregular amount of speed. Hyperdrive, it's all like it's in hyperdrive, that I only got 24 hours ahead of it this time, the change in direction a little bit. But you know what this is going to lead to? Even though we got 2.5 million jobs back, a lot of these jobs are lost, and the economy is weaker as a result. What it's going to lead to, though, is this little recovery that we're starting to enter into now is going to lead to a stagflation. Inflation like you guys haven't seen before, but at the same time, a stagnant economy. That's where we're headed right now. And, homelessness is going to go up tremendously. But, I forecast that a long time ago. I would say my rate of forecasting here is at least 70% correct, which is, if somebody was just guessing at random at things, it would be 50-50. But I do thorough research on here, and this is how I stay ahead of the curves. 2 ways. I use the same principle some detectives use. Guys like Sherlock Holmes, and it's logical deduction, and also I use a technique of thorough research into things, So it's not by magic that I'm able to predict these things a little bit ahead of time. It takes a lot of hard work on my part. I don't think there's anybody out here that's researching what's really going on geopolitically and in the markets any more than me. I say that honestly because I get on the computer when I wake up in the morning, and I'm researching right up until I go to bed at night a lot of times, and day after day after day. I rarely miss a day even, getting my research. I especially do a lot of research on the weekends, and sometimes it gets a bit ridiculous, the amount of research that I put into it. But this is just the way it is, But the outcome is good, The outcome is that I'm able to predict a little bit ahead. And I'm sure that there's an awful lot of people, that listen to my show. If they're careful investors and stuff, they've probably got a little bit of an edge at times. I probably give them a little bit of an edge, And I wouldn't be surprised, if they had a little bit of an edge because they listen to my show. Anyway, whatever, I'm going to continue to do my research and continue to put this show out here, and try to stay a little bit ahead of the curve. Can I be wrong? Heck yeah. I mean, like I was saying, I figure I'm probably right about 70% of the time, but that would leave 30% of the time I'm wrong. And once in a while I get caught with my pants down. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the Dow Jones Industrial Average today. It's up 923 points today, 27,205. Heck, it looks like she's almost heading up to an all-time high if it keeps going in this direction, But you got to understand something. They're putting the cart ahead of the horse a little bit in this market right now because we have huge systemic problems in the world economy right now. monster-sized problems. And I don't think they're pricing in the extent of these problems that we're having. End of story. End of story. Let's take a look now at crude oil, 39.05. It's up $1.64 on the day, 4.38% up on the day. U.S. Treasuries today. This is something we got to really keep our eye on, guys. I'm telling you, this could smash open everything. This could crack open the entire world's financial system, just like you hit it when you hit a walnut with a hammer. I'm telling you, these treasuries, if these yields keep going up like the speed that they're going up at, it can crack open the world's financial system and bring it all down, bring everything down. If these yields keep moving like this, 11 basis points on the 20-year and 10 basis points on the 30-year. 11 basis points on the 10-year. Look, the 10-year is almost up to 1% at 0.92%, and the 30-year is at 1.72 now. And man, are these yields ever climbing fast? They're shooting heavenwards. I mean, this could end very badly, you know, if something's not done. They're going to have to get in there and start buying these treasuries, the Fed. And they're going to have to do something about this. They can't let these yields rise too fast. Let's take a look now at the U.S. dollar index. 96.94 on the U.S. dollar index. Today it's starting to go along sideways. Up near 97. We saw a fallen dollar for the last number of days. And, let me go out. Let me expand the chart the last 5 days. And we can see the dollar's been settling down and falling, slowly falling. But now it's just starting to pop back up again a little bit again, you know, in the last, it's been going along kind of sideways with a little bit of an upward tilt to it. But it's, you know, the dollar, what it's being compared against, it is the best one of these fiat currencies is being compared against. You were to pit this dollar, you know, against something that really matters, like pit the dollar against Bitcoin. And see what it does over the next 5 years. You know, that would be a better test for the dollar. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.